Hi, Editor Daniel here. Just wanted to apologize in advance for the audio in this video. It sounds a little bit echoey and I realized way too late. And I was just a little bit too lazy to re-record it, but I still hope you enjoy it. So at this point, we all know that most Digital Nomad visas are straight up crap. The orders that you have to go through in order to obtain this visa sometimes may not seem to be worth it. But if you're willing to go through all of that, you may want to consider this Digital Nomad visas that I want to talk about in this video. And these are the cheapest Digital Nomad visas that exist right now if you make under $2,000 a month. I'm going to give you the minimum income requirements, how long you can stay, and the cost of living index in this country. Now, this cost of living index is based on the numbers from numbeo.com. Numbeo is a global cost of living index website that provides you access to the cost of living in different countries around the world. Now, this cost of living index is calculated based on the relative cost to New York City. So, for example, if the city cost of living index in the country is 35, it means that it's 35% of what it would cost you to live in New York City. That's kind of weird, but you know, it is what it is. So let's get right into it. The first country on this list, if you make under $2,000 a month for a Digital Nomad visa, is Brazil. The minimum income requirement is $1,500 a month, or you must have $18,000 in your bank account. The length of stay once you obtain this Nomad visa is up to 2 years. 1 year, then you can renew for another year. And the Numbeo cost of living index for Brazil is 34.7, meaning it's only 34.7% of the cost of living in Brazil. Sometimes I feel like these numbers can be off by a little bit, but it's roughly that number right there. Now, the second on that list is Cape Verde. Now, Cape Verde is one of the few African countries that offer Digital Nomad visas. So if you're looking to work in Africa, maybe just spend time on one of the 7 islands in Cape Verde, you might want to consider the Cape Verde Digital Nomad visa. The minimum income requirement for that is $1,500 average bank balance over the last 6 months, meaning in the last 6 months, you must maintain an average bank balance of $1,500. Now, Numbeo has not provided the cost of living index, but I looked it up and the average 3-bedroom apartment in the city center is about $400 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment in the city center. I think that's pretty good. And the length of stay for the Cape Verde Digital Nomad visa is 1 year. I mean, you can stay up to 1 year and maybe renew for another year. Originally, you can get 6 months, but you can renew for another 6 months. Now, next up on that list is Colombia. Now, the minimum now, Colombia is one of the cheapest Digital Nomad visa out there. They're trying to attract a lot of people, we know that. And the minimum income requirement for Colombia is about $780. So if you make at least $800 a month, you'll be able to apply for the Colombia Digital Nomad visa. And the length of stay for this visa is up to 2 years. 1 year, they're renewable for another year. And the Numbeo cost of living index of Colombia is 23.1, meaning it's 23% of what it would cost you to live in the US. That's saying that New York is 5 times more expensive than Colombia. So that's a really good thing. I have a lot of friends there live in Colombia right now. They have a lot of good things to say about Colombia. Cost of living is really good. Quality of life is superb. So Colombia might be the one to consider if you're looking for a cheap Digital Nomad visa. Now, next up on that list is Ecuador. Ecuador, of course, South American country, and the minimum income requirement for Ecuador Digital Nomad visa is $1,275 a month. And if you're wanting to add an additional family member, your wife, your kids, then that cost increases by $250 a month for each person. So if you're applying by yourself, $1,275. If you want to bring your wife or your kids, meaning 2 additional people, then you will be paying $500 a month extra in addition to $1,275. Now, length of stay is 1 year, renewable for another year. And the Numbeo cost of living index is 35.1. So all of the cities that I've mentioned so far, under 40 in Numbeo cost of living index, which is really good. Now let's talk about the second African country on that list, and that is Mauritius. It's an island off the coast of East Africa, and the minimum income requirement for Mauritius is $1,500 per month, or an additional $1,500 a month if you are bringing your spouse. So it increases $1,500 for every additional person that you're trying to bring with you. Doesn't matter if it's your kids, your spouse, it goes up an additional $1,500. Now, the Numbeo cost of living index for Mauritius is 42.2. This is one of 2 countries on that list that is over 40. And that's because Mauritius is an island, and we all know that most islands are pretty expensive because they don't produce most of their goods and services locally, and they have to bring them from land. So that is one of the big reasons why islands can be expensive. And the last on that list is Latvia. Latvia is a Western European country, the only European country in this list, and the financial requirement, the monthly income requirement is $1,677 per month, and the length of stay in Latvia is 2 years. You can get a Digital Nomad visa for 2 years, and the cost of living index is 50.9, meaning it's half of what you would spend in New York City. Now, I said earlier that the cost of living index can be a little bit deceiving because the cost of living in Latvia, from people who've been there, from other digital nomads that I've spoken to, is quite low, at least very similar to what I'm getting here in Albania, for example. A one-bedroom apartment in Latvia costs you anywhere from $650 to $750, and that's not exactly half of what you would spend in New York. So you have to still do your research and ask people, talk to people who have been there or people who are planning to be there. You can go on a website like nomadlist.com where you can find real numbers from people who are actually in that place right then and there. So this is the countries with the least amount of financial requirement if you're trying to get the Digital Nomad visa. In a lot of these countries, you can get the visa in as little as 1 month as long as you have all the requirements. Now, this is only the financial requirements. There are other requirements as well that you have to meet, such as working remotely, health insurance, criminal background record, and things of that nature. So if this video has been helpful, consider subscribing. If you have any questions about living abroad as digital nomad and how to travel sustainably while you make money doing it, I've made all the videos on this channel. You can go check them out. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. My name is Daniel, and I will see you in the next video.